Welcome to the Sunday morning simulcast with Rom Wills. Change yourself, change those around you. Now, you know what? We've all, and myself included, we have some folks around us. They could be family members. They could be people we're in relationships with. They could be neighbors. They could just be people that we randomly encounter in the street. We always think, wow, I hate that they're doing that. We see something about them, we just don't like it. Sometimes it can be minor, like we don't like the clothes they wear, right? What I'm about to say don't really apply to that. Y'all gotta just live with that. But mainly their behavior, and in particular, their behavior in reaction to you, how they interact with you. And, you know, people will be like, I wish they would treat me nicer, or I wish they would act a certain way around me, you know? Even in cases in relationships, people, you know, you be in a relationship with somebody and you're like, I wish they would act right or they would do this. And then, you know, of course, some people, they'll try to force it. They'll try to force that behavior. Even in your children, you try to force some things to happen. You know what? That don't work. If you want to change those around you, you got to change yourself. Change begins within. You know, change begins within. Because if you change yourself, how people respond to you will change. You know, I had a lady friend, you know, totally platonic, y'all. Let me be clear. And I was, we were speaking, and you know, I ain't gonna call her name, but she had, you know, I knew her. I knew when she was married, and you know, divorced the guy, and there was always an issue. Always, it was always some issue between them once they got divorced, right? Always an issue between them. But then I saw her recently, and she said her and her ex-husband get along great, and she said what it was. She just changed her responses. That's all she did. She didn't change him. She didn't do anything to him. She just changed how she was coming off. And she said, oh, it was great because it was within her. See, understand something. Everything in the world is action, reaction. And a lot of times, some of the stuff, people treat us a certain way because they react to us in a certain way. I'll use myself for an example. I've heard from many people, and this is going back to when I was little. People, I've met people, they say the first time they saw me, they thought I was mean. They thought I was a mean person because I don't smile when I'm walking down the street or I'm just out. And I have a generally mean look when I'm just out and about. And I'm not thinking mean or anything. That's just the look that I have. Because it's real serious, got a stone face and everything. And then they actually surprised when they see me smile. It's an interesting thing. On one hand, said a mean look, but then I've had people say, man, you got a great smile. You know, look real friendly and stuff. And they said once you smiled, then they got comfortable. Okay, all right. But then that's telling me sometimes when people respond to me a certain way, that's what they're picking up. They picking up the mean vibe or what they consider a mean vibe. But then if I want to change that up, I just have to smile a bit more, you know, open up, be more relaxed. And then that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I don't consciously try to be mean, so I ain't thinking about how I look. But then that was a lesson to me. I had to be concerned how I'm perceived. And if I want to change someone's perceptions, I have control over that. And that's anybody. Now, let me be clear. That's not saying put on a mask or anything. Because a lot of times the behavior that's causing a reaction is something that, well, we don't need to have anyway. It's not beneficial to us. And it's within you to do something else. Remember, love and hate is within anybody. Happiness and sadness is with anybody. Optimism and depression are with anybody. You have control over that. And you have to ask yourself, okay, what am I doing? Okay, like people might run into you and talk to you a certain way. In fact, here's another story, and I've shared this one before. It's one of my favorites. I was in a department store. I was in a department store line. Got in the line. There was some bags in front of me, some stuff to be bought that was in front of me, but the person wasn't there. So I stood behind the line. I stood behind it. So a woman came up and she said, that's my stuff right there and all of that. And, my first I could have responded by saying, well, I saw it was just your stuff. Yo, just myself will have raised my voice. But then my response was to be cool and calm and just say, ma'am, I saw that was your stuff, right? I saw that was somebody's stuff, so that's why I'm standing here. And then that changed her up. Like, this woman she was ready to curse me out, halfway ready to fight and everything. But then she looked at me and she started smiling. And she actually asked me what church I went to and all of that because of how calm I was. And I was just like, it's okay. It's okay. But my response, my reaction, how I carried myself influenced her. And it's attitudes, and I've seen it. I've worked in sales. In fact, I've worked in plenty of professions where I had to interact with people on an everyday basis. Different people, sales, being a vendor. And one thing with vending, let me use that as an example. Because one time I was vending with someone and this person had zero vending experience. And I ain't going to get into the arrangement why the person was there, but they had a certain attitude. To them. And let's just say things weren't moving as well. But when that person was no longer there or moved on, all of a sudden, sales. So that was within. See, understand that. You have control over, or you ultimately have control over how people perceive you. You have control if you have a positive attitude or a negative attitude. Because trust me, if you positive, you're going to walk a certain way, you're going to smile a certain way, or have a look on your face. People are going to perceive that. You have control over that. You have control. So getting back to if you want to change some people maybe in your relationships, your relatives, or your friendship networks, work, everything, it's all in how you do. It's all in how you change up. You change what you're giving off. You change your vibration, your frequency. Then other people have no choice but to respond to it. And let me be clear, it's not always going to be, it might not always be in a positive way. Some people could have liked you being like on some negative thing. But then that'll get rid of them. It's the change. That's the change. To me, people waste time and energy trying to change the other person without changing themselves. You change yourself. You deal with what's within you. And the people, they're going to do it automatically, even if that wasn't your intent. And Billy, let's be real, you need to change yourself anyway. Not even for other people. Yes, I titled it that, but, I had to get your attention. But it's really for you. It's so you can get through life in a successful manner. Now, unless you are a billionaire, unless you have total control in your life, unless you are totally happy, you need to change something. I'll use myself. Let me end this with an example for myself. There were certain things I changed within myself that led me to the road of success. And once I dealt with certain things, and once I changed how I was responding, what I was doing, all of a sudden, the world opened up for me. So that's very important. So remember, change yourself, change those around you. And those around you could be the world itself. So that's all I have for now. Y'all think on what I'm saying, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.